for LSU. Obviously, this is an SEC team with SEC talent. They had a pretty strong finish to the season and into the conference tournament. What just stands out the most to you about this team you're going to see on Saturday?
I feel like what stands out the most is they're like a big team of they're guard heavy. They don't really have an inside presence. They play 4 or 5 guards and they just stay around the perimeter. So that's unlike what we usually have to see. They have guards like 6'7", 6'8", so their length definitely something different. But I feel like them being an SEC, all the teams like that. So we just gotta be ready for that.
Right, and just as follow up, I mean, this maybe is the best offensive team you guys will see this year, and some great individual scorers. But that's something you guys have done obviously a very good job with this year, just defensively, and doing a good job on the knowns, as Coach Schmidt likes to say. So how much do you just embrace this, probably being the biggest challenge in that department on Saturday?
This is definitely a big test. They have great guards, the Thomas kid, Lawford, and Smart. Usually is like 1 known, 2 known, but I feel like they have like 4 knowns. They have Days, which is the X factor for them. And I feel like it's just a good test for us to see where we at, and just we got to be ready to come out and play.
Right. Thank you, Kyle.
Matt, I think you have your hand up. You want to go?
Yep. Kyle, it looks like ESPN says about a 50-50 game. I think it's a 1.5 point spread, and yet I think people are already talking about a Michigan LSU second round. Does that do anything for you guys kind of being overlooked?
I don't think we worry about that. But we just, no matter if we playing LSU or somebody in our conference or anybody, we got to come with the same mentality. Come confident, come ready to play. And I think we do that and bring our hard hats. We'll be in a good position to win.
You've been there, I think, 2 days now, 3 days maybe. What's a typical day been like in this kind of secure environment?
I feel like we come downstairs like 2 or 3 times a day. We're really upstairs on our floor in our rooms, and they bring us meals. We just really got to stay in our room and stay distance from everyone.
All right, thanks a
lot. Rachel, do you have your hand up? You can go ahead.
Kyle, thanks for joining us this morning. A couple questions. First, when you kind of look back at your journey to Bonaventure, you came out of high school, you had no Division I scholarship offers, you went to Putnam Science Academy and won a national prep title, and now you're playing in the NCAA tournament. You've had a couple days to let it kind of sink in a little bit. What does it mean to you now to be in Indiana and prepare for a game on Saturday again, in the NCAA tournament?
It means a lot to me. I was talking to my dad, he was telling me like I wasn't even supposed to be here. After high school, I was going to junior college visits, looking into that. Then just to be blessed with the opportunity to get found by Putnam Science Academy was a life-changing moment for me. Mm-hmm. I did that, and then I happened to win a national championship, and I got looked at by St. Bonaventure. I'm thankful for that. And then just from my freshman year, they trusted me. And then they gave me the confidence to be what I am now. And then I give credit to my teammates and my coaches.
Looking back at the season too, you struggled early on, your shooting wise. What did you do to improve and refine that, when you were kind of going through a slump and as the season progressed?
I've been doing the same thing all year, whether you believe it or not. Every day I go get shots up, whether they're falling or not, I'm going to still shoot with confidence. It's games I went 0 for 5, 0 for 7, but it just shows that I'm not scared to shoot it. I'm confident in myself. I'm confident in the work I put in, and I just knew someday it'll show.
Right. Now, also, kind of looking back at the season, you hit that big 3-pointer against Richmond on March 2nd, really getting to help your team's resume. Was that a turning point for your team this season? Did it bring your team together? Did it help your confidence personally?
Yeah, because in the beginning of the season, Richmond, they was coming off, they were hot. Knowing we beat a good Richmond team like that, I think it gave all the players the confidence, like, all right, we could be something special this year. So I think that was like a turning point. And then we all just bought in, kept working, kept grinding, and then doing that day by day, and we got what we at now.
All right. Thank you.
Mike Hogan, did you have your hand up?
I did not. Thank you.
Okay, let's see. Chucky?
Kyle, coach was talking yesterday about how you want the game to be, in the 60s, more to your kind of style than LSU that has played a lot of high scoring games this year. But if that doesn't end up turning out that way and it becomes a high paced, high scoring game, how confident are you that you guys can keep up with them in the scoring department and hang in there on offensively?
I'm confident. Obviously, the goal is to keep it a low-scoring game, grind it out on defensive end. But I feel like we have 5 players that can just have a big game any given night. So scoring just sometimes is not there, but I feel like in this moments like this, good players shine, and I feel like we have good players.
Also, obviously, you're a student of the game and you're always watching basketball. From growing up, what's your favorite or maybe most memorable moment of watching March Madness on TV?
My favorite moment is the run Kemba Walker made in the tournament.
Or just to get the opportunity to go up against a major program. Obviously, LSU is getting constant national attention. Are you guys looking at this as sort of an opportunity to establish St. Bonaventure on a national stage and prove that, we belong with some of the major teams in the country?
Yeah, this is definitely a spotlight game. I feel like all of our guys know that. And then, like I said, good players live up to these moments. You don't shy away from these moments, and they have a lot of great players. So I know a lot of people will be watching this game, and I just want to get St. Bonaventure name even more on the map.
And you talk about all the great guards on that LSU team. What is, how do you manage to just kind of keep them at bay? Is it, is it a point of focusing on one guard and, trying to keep the other two, just let them do what they do? What's the plan of attack against such a stacked backcourt?
I feel like that's why we have great coaches. We didn't get really in depth yet on what we're gonna do, but I feel like the coaches will handle that well. We just got to follow the game plan and come ready to play.
Awesome. Thanks, Kyle.
Thank you.
Markel, did you have your hand up?
Yes, thank you. Lofton, with everything kind of coming full circle for you and Ocean, sorry for butchering his name, but whenever winning a high school title together and then now in the national tournament, how would you describe your relationship with him on and off the court? And I guess I have to feel very gratifying to be here with him, I guess.
That's like my brother. In prep school, we weren't really that close. We grew closer as the season went on, and then coming here my freshman year, we were roommates. So once that hit, we were like brothers. Our chemistry got better. We talk a lot about basketball on and off the court, even off the court. Stuff that doesn't involve basketball, help him, he helped me. I just see him as a lifelong friend, and after this level, I hope I can get a chance to play with him again.
And since your freshman year, since you were thrown into the fire, starting as a freshman, playing big minutes to now, in what ways would you say you have seen yourself improve over these last few years from freshman year to now?
I definitely became a better leader. Just looking more so for my teammates. I know I gotta get them going instead of looking for myself. And when I came here my freshman year, I wasn't really like a scorer, but coach, he pulled me over to the side and told me like, all right, passing is cool, but we need you to score. So I took on that role, and then I just got better at it. I got better at finding my spots, knowing what spots I'm good at, shooting where I'm more efficient at, and then just getting better from there.
Thank you.
Time for one more for Kyle. Let's go to Mike Hogan.
Yeah, Kyle, thanks for doing this today. Obviously, a lot of the talk right now is about slowing down LSU's scorers. But I'm just wondering, what are you guys seeing out of their defense so far on film?
Like I said earlier, they're like long. and they switch everything. They switch 1 through 5. So usually with us, we run a lot of ball screens, so it'll be difficult running ball screens to get to switching defense. So we have to go into other stuff. Coach has a big playbook, so I'm pretty sure he'll have us well prepared for that.
Okay, thanks everybody. Thank you, Kyle, for the time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we'll have Coach Schmidt in just a minute.
How much do you just embrace this, probably biggest challenge of the year going into Saturday?
They're really talented. They're number one in the country in scoring. They got 2 really good guards. Walford is a tremendous combo forward. Days is a 5-man that can shoot the ball well from the perimeter. They space you out. They're really talented. If the game's in the 80s on Saturday, we're probably not going to win. So we got to somehow control the tempo and keep those guys out of the paint and don't foul them. Thomas is number 2, I think, in the country in foul shots attempted. So we got our work cut out for us. We know it's a Southeast Conference team. They're really athletic. They're really skilled. They got a couple of pros. First round picks in their starting 5. So we know what we're up against, but it's a great challenge. It's whoever you get in the NCAA tournament is going to be a good team, and LSU is that. Well coached, athletic. They try to space you out. It's almost like an NBA type of style of play. A lot of ISOs and so we got to same thing. Try to get back in transition and try to force a 5-on-5 game as much as we can. And you can't be 1-on-1. If they isolate us, they're probably better than us 1-on-1. We gotta play great team defense and we got to rebound the basketball and keep them to 1 shot. But they're it's the Southeast Conference. They got Southeast Conference athletes, high major guys, and but it's a challenge that we're looking forward to.
Right. Thank you.
Yep.
Rachel, over to you.
Hi, Mark. Thanks for joining us this morning. I have a question about Oshun. This is the first season he's played with the Bonnies where he's been healthy for the whole season. And with that, what kind of growth have you seen from him in this season, whether it's shot blocking, rebounding, or just a better, well-rounded game?
Yeah, he's always a great defensive player. I think his offense is coming along. He's getting more confident on the offensive end. The pandemic, started last March. It's really affected all of us and the players in terms of the whole summertime. They weren't here to lift weights and do individuals, and and our guys get better during that time. So everybody's been pushed back a little bit in terms of their development. But Shun is, from a defensive standpoint, we're so much better with him in the lineup. And, I thought you saw that last year. When he was out, we didn't win too many games. He's a difference maker. He makes up for a lot of our mistakes. And then when he plays well on the offensive end, we're a better offensive team. So, with him playing, every game, it's, we have a better chance of winning and having a successful season. And that's what happened this year.
Oh, Rachel, you're on mute.
I'm sorry, I'm on mute. Can you pinpoint a point in Oshun's season where you really saw it come together for him this year, or just really raise his game a bit?
Yeah, well, I think the first game against Akron, I think he, I don't know what he have, 25 points and 15 rebounds, I think. And he had some really good offensive games. He didn't have, he struggled sometimes offensively, but his defense never suffered. And that's a sign of a really good player when your defense isn't going well, but he's still rebounding the ball, still defending, still blocking shots, and he brings so much to our team. Even when he's not scoring, and when he's scoring, like I said, we're that much better offensively. We got somebody inside that can get you need to double team him. And he has a good feel. He can pass the ball out of the double team. So where we're at, because a lot has to do with Shun on the defensive end, blocking shots, and and that's going to be a a critical thing against LSU, but at the same time, LSU is going to try to pull them away from the basket, with days and, shoot threes. So we got to be smart about that as well.
Yeah.
Tommy, over to you.
Hey, Coach. Being out that LSU is so guard heavy, and they don't really have that true five. You mentioned Days would be their five, but even he's 6'7". Is there going to be an emphasis to really get Shun involved down low on offense, considering you guys have that height advantage there with him?
Yeah, we got some height advantage with Shun, but the kid's 245 pounds. Shun will probably be 245 pounds when he's 58, like I am. So it's we'll try to go inside, with Shun and try to get him, going to the basket and some screen and rolls and stuff. But like I said, when Shun's scoring the ball inside for us, we're a better team. If he can create doubles and so forth. So yeah, that'll be a part of the game plan. I'm not sure how much, if Shun's going to be able to back in 245, but we're going to certainly, go inside out either, by the pass or by the dribble.
And then just how much are you looking forward to? Obviously, the focus right now is solely on LSU, but do you find yourself at all just maybe peeking ahead later in the week towards Michigan, or is that something you're going to worry about on Saturday afternoon?
Yeah, no, you can't do that. It's just, we're treating this just like, any game. We're not worried about, who we're playing next Wednesday. We're worried about Saturday. All our efforts are geared towards preparing as best we can for LSU. LSU is really good. They're really, really talented. They lost, by 1 point to Alabama in the finals of the SEC. That's all you need to know. And if our focus isn't on LSU, then we're pretty dumb. And I don't think we're that dumb. So they're a talented team, and they deserve all of our attention, and they're going to get all of our attention.
Markel, over to you.
Thank you, Coach. I asked Kyle this similar question earlier, but with Kyle and Oshun being teammates before Bonnie's, and even Kyle admitted that him and Oshun weren't exactly real close then as they are now. He calls him his brother now, but in what ways is their friendship evident on and off the court? In what ways have you seen that?
Yeah, I think on every good team, the closer you are off the court, the closer you're going to be on the court, and the more you can get along and get on guys. If there's no respect off the court and there's no relationship off the court, it's hard to get on guys. Then they take it personally, and But if there's a great relationship off the court, then you can tell guys, something on the court that they may not agree with or whatever, and they still will respond. And I think Kyle and Shun are like that. There's, and not just them, the whole team. I think there's, we have a tight knit group that respect each other, and guys can get on each other and motivate each other, and there's no animosity, and that's important for any team. But if you're going to be successful, that's most important.
And also, I have a local young man on the team from Rochester, Jermaine Taggart. I understand he is a walk-on, doesn't play much, but can you kind of speak to his work ethic and what was it about him and his game that led him to earning a spot on the team this year?
Yeah, he's not allowed to play, this year, but he in terms of practice, he's on the scout team, and the scout team is really important. They run the other team stuff, and Jermaine is an athletic kid, a really nice kid, and he's really accepted his role really well, and he's really helped us in practice, and those guys are invaluable. They don't get a lot of publicity, but those guys are just as important as our better guys on the team. So Jermaine's done a really good job for us.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, just to confirm, Jermaine's redshirting this year, but obviously has been practicing with the team the entire season. Matt, over to you.
Coach, with them being so guard heavy, how important is it for all four of your guys, but particularly Jalen and Dom, to be able to guard multiple guys in different spots on the floor?
Yeah, that's how we play. You know, we switch 1 through 4. So all those guys are going to be guarding everybody. The only guy we don't switch is the 5-man. You know, so keeping the ball above the foul line, being able to guard your yard, keeping the guys in front of you, it's going to be really, really important. They play a 5-out offense. They try to, you know, a lot of dribble drives, a lot of isolation. So it's really important for us to be able to guard them one-on-one, but at the same time, you know, get guys in the gaps and really try to force contested jump shots.
What's Will Wade's, you know, impact on this, the familiarity with him? Do you see a lot of the same stuff he ran before, or is it kind of new?
Yeah, it's you know, some, you know, defensively it's very similar. They run a little, you know, they run some stuff that they ran at VCU, but a lot of it's like isolation plays and, you know, one-on-one stuff. You know, they didn't do as much at VCU as they're doing now at LSU. But you can see his personality. They're a really good offensive rebounding team, really athletic, and you know, they try to play downhill.
Thank.
Yep.
Jenna, over to you.
Coach, I know you mentioned after the A10 championship game, I believe that you guys gave, or you were giving the DePiero family a piece of the net. You know, you're wearing the DD patch on your uniforms. Now that you're in Indianapolis, just how bittersweet is it considering all this team has been through both physically and emotionally?
It's bittersweet. You know, he was our leader. You know, he was really a big supporter of men's basketball. And I've always said it, you know, I've been lucky to have 2 very good presidents in Sister Margaret and Dennis, who really were supportive of men's basketball. And when it comes from, you know, when it's important at the top, it's important all the way through. So, you know, Dennis was just a great leader. You know, one of us, didn't act like he was above us, treated everybody fairly. And it's, you know, it's a big loss, you know, not just to me personally, but, you know, to our program and to the university. You know, so he's in our prayers, you know, his family. And that net was, that's for him. That's for his family, because he's been a big part of it. And I know Dennis is looking over us and helping us, and hopefully he can really help us on Saturday at 1:45.
And, you know, Jared mentioned the other day, he talked about Olean, you know, being the small city full of support for this team. We all know Bonnie's fans love their team. If you had a message for just fans, especially because they haven't been able to be inside Riley Center this year, just what would it be as they've continued to support you from home?
When I first got the job, you know, I knew basketball was important to the university. I didn't know it was this important. It's unique. You know, the pandemic has been, you know, hard on everybody. You know, people have lost, you know, lives. You know, it's been horrific. But the thing that, you know, from just a basketball perspective, it's a shame that the Riley Center wasn't filled. You know, you feel bad for the community and the students. You feel bad for our players not to be able to experience what the Riley Center is all about. But as I said, you know, many times during the year, it's, you know, I'm just so glad that we can play. You know, our players, like I said, our players could care less if they played, you know, outside on the blacktop or, you know, in the Carrier Dome. It's like they want to play. But it's a shame what we're dealing with. But basketball is just a little small piece of it. You know, it's basketball is basketball. You know, we're talking about life and death. You know, so you have to keep things in perspective. But if you're just talking about basketball, it's, you know, we miss the fans. You know, and I think when we're at Dayton and we had, you know, whatever 3,000 people in the stands, it was fantastic. You know, just to have some noise in there. But we miss them. But I know they're there. They're supportive. They'll be, you know, watching on TV, and, you know, they'll be pulling for us just as much as, you know, we as coaches are pulling for the players. So it's a special, unique thing that we have at Bonaventure. You know, basketball, and it is really important, and it holds. It's the fabric of the university. It holds the alums together, and it gives us something to do. So I know I'll be out at 1:45. You know, in front of their televisions, you know, cheering us on.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thanks.
Chucky, over to you.
Coach, Alabama hit, I think, 12 3-pointers in that SEC title game against LSU. Do you see the 3-point line as an aspect that could really make or break the game on Saturday?
For us offensively or defensively?
Just offense, either
Yeah,
one.
it's we're shooting the ball better. They switch 1 through 5, so we're going to have to get some penetration, and and we're going to have to make some shots. I'm not sure that's going to be a make or break thing, but we got to, from a defensive standpoint, we got to stop the 3-point shot, especially from Thomas and Smart. And we got to make some. When we're open, we got to make some. But there's a lot of things that are going to be important in transition defense, rebounding the ball, keeping them to one shot, staying out of foul trouble, and then 3-point shot. Both offensively and defensively will be important. I'm not sure how important, but it will be one of the keys.
Also, does the fact that with their personnel that they have such big long guards, does that change anything with your offensive strategy?
No, we got big long guards too. It's that's, I think, one of the reasons why we've had some success is we got big guards as well. So it's not like we're going in there and we got 5'8", guards going against 6'4". We match up in terms of size with their guards. Kyle's 6'4", Jaren's 6'4". So that's not a concern. It's their athleticism. They got, like I said, they got 2 first-round picks. So, so that in terms of their talent, they're really talented.
We have time for 2 more. Both Tommy and Matt have their hand up. Tommy, first over to you.
Hey, thanks, Coach. Just one more question for you. Obviously, there are some great teams in the A10, but talk to me a little bit about the novelty of preparing for a major program like LSU. Do you really embrace the challenge of game prepping against those top 100 recruits, or has it been giving you some late nights and some frustration in preparing for them?
No, we game plan the same way. Our first game is against Akron as we're doing against LSU. There's no difference, and it's not like we've never played these teams before. It's our league is we got teams in our league that can compete in the SEC. Our league doesn't have to take a backseat to anybody. We know how good LSU is. We knew how good Syracuse was and Maryland was, and all those teams. So we don't have to take a backseat. They got our respect, but we're not going to sit and because they're an SEC team that we're going to take a backseat. We're going to prepare just like we prepared for all the teams. I'm going to take it one game at a time, and hopefully we're in good shape. When we play from 145 to 345, we play really, really well, because that's what it's going to take to beat a team like LSU.
Great, thanks, Coach. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And time for one more. Matt, over to you.
Coach, you play 5 guys. Is that fortunate you haven't run into injuries? Is that people responsible for that? That obviously these guys are all averaging 30-some minutes a game, and you haven't really been affected by injuries this year, or have they just played through it?
No, it's like there's always bumps and bruises. In every game. I think our trainer Josh does a really good job. The kids are really on top of it, and they're proactive. They know that there's certain things that are going to bother them, that they're in the training room all the time. So but yeah, injuries, just not just for us, for everybody in the country. Injuries are something that you try to stay away from, and injuries can affect your team, good or bad. So it's we've been lucky that we haven't had any major injuries, and knock on wood that will continue.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, Coach. Thanks for the time. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks.